right. Well, today we are going to be talking to Tamiko, and she is a labor and delivery nurse, and she's been a nurse for a long time. And we're going to help her to share her story and experience about being a Black nurse in America and what does that look like. And so, Tamiko, I'll let you take over and just tell me, like, why nursing? Where did you start? And just your journey.
Give me 1 second. Now you're finna make me cry. Hold on.
No.
Okay, I had to get my thing just in case my glasses.
Yeah.
So I started nursing school at St. Petersburg College here in St. Pete. At first, we were not a college; we was a junior college. So right before I ended my AS degree, they changed to a baccalaureate program. So I started in 2005, the nursing program. I wasn't supposed to start until 2006 because they were having some issues with the previous students. So what they did, they revamped the program and allowed me to come in a year early. So I ended up going January 2005, 2006. I graduated in December with my AS degree. And then I ended up in New York, Harlem Hospital, because the hospital that I'm currently having issues with, well, had issues with last year, they wouldn't hire me as a graduate nurse because I wasn't fit for the team. And
Mm,
at the time in 2005, when you finished level 2 of the nursing program, you were able to challenge the LPN board, which I did and passed. Now, I was on welfare, food stamps, snaps. It wasn't called snaps then. I was on Section 8. My rent was $0, but I had to pay $40 for rent because I had a wash and dryer. So I had to pay that. So my rent was technically $40. I
mhm.
was getting like 100 and some dollars extra for like the utilities that Section 8 was giving the families. So I was living off that. I was living off my 200 and some dollar food stamps. I had my Medicaid. So I used that to go to nursing school. And
Mhm.
I also did like work study at the college. So I would go to an elementary school here in our city and teach the third graders how to, read. So I was getting paid like 200 and some dollars every 2 weeks. So that money, the welfare couldn't count as income.
Mm.
So the whole time, that's how I wrote it out. Besides student loans and my FAFSA money, that's how
Yeah.
I lived. I did not work. So I ended up moving to New York in September of 2007 and started working at Harlem Hospital. I am so glad, and I've always said that I was so glad that that was my first nursing experience in L&D. Now, the hospital was a tad bit antiquated, but when I got it, it took me forever to get on board. But because of the process, they really see you through a physical. They,
Mm.
they, it's like whew, they want to make sure they're getting something good as far as lab work. Try to do my labs. They did. The doctor found that I had a heart murmur. I said, "Are you good? Because you're the only one. You're the second doctor that done discovered it." So
Mhm.
anyway, so I started working there, and it was three positions. IV team. I was good with IVs and still am.
Mhm.
Postpartum or labor and delivery, and they had just started taking graduate nurses in L&D.
Nice.
So that's how I ended up in L&D because I had my first choice was the IV and then postpartum, then L&D. And when they told me, I told her that no, I want to try L&D. I get there and I got linked up with Natasha Parker, my preceptor. We still talk today on Facebook. And just to see a hospital, I hate saying the minority because we were the majority there. It was
Mm.
the African Americans, it was the Africans from the continent, it was the Jamaicans, it was the Haitians, it was the Dominicans, it was the Puerto Rican, it was everybody there. And some white people and some Asians, a lot of Filipinos. So we were that unit was like, it laid the solid foundation that is
Yeah.
currently today unshakable,
Mhm.
unbreakable. Miss, I learned how to do VASH deliveries.
Yeah.
We didn't do vaginal exams in New York. We didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a skill that I was lacking when I ended up moving to Georgia in 2011.
Yeah.
But as far as having the self-confidence, knowing
Mm-hmm.
that I am and I can, and to see the Afro in the women, not just the but the women was
Yeah.
like a fresher breath there. Now they
Yeah.
was mean and hateful someone, but I stood my ground. Hey, we respected each other. We bumped heads, but we took care of our patients. So 4 years, I was under excellent tutelage.
Yeah.
No
And
doubt about it.
and
No doubt about it.
I can relate to that too because I started out in Lincoln, which is
Mhm.
like the sister hospital
Yep.
basically of Harlem. And I was surrounded by a lot of Nigerian nurses, Jamaican
Mhm.
nurses, a few
Mhm.
Asian, few white, the same
Yep.
experience that you
Mhm.
had.
Mhm.
And you're right, like you get that solid foundation, like you learn your skills. I didn't do vaginal exams just like you. I
Nope.
met you when I stepped out of New York and went to Cali, right? And I didn't know
Yep.
how to do a vaginal exam, but that confidence that you have as a nurse, and you just step in and you do and you learn. And you taught me a lot of things too, like as a nurse, because I was fresh off the baby nurse boat in
Yes,
Harlem
you were.
and jumped into travel nursing. And
Yes, you did.
you were a great support to me too, but I do know that confidence that you're talking about and that healthy
Yep.
environment and culture.
Minutes. I still, and that's been 2007. Now we're what, 2025? That's been so long ago, and I still walk in that 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 air of it. I still feel that. And I was young, girl,
Yeah.
but it really did something to me. Now, had I gotten that job
Hmm.
here, then I doubt I would have been one of these, but it would have been different.
Hmm.
So when I was able to go to the South, back to because I wasn't an RN in the South. Remember, I graduated. I had
Hmm.
just gotten my nursing license February of 2007 when I passed the boards. Now I was working with my LPN in a nursing home in the drug facilities. I was doing that,
Yeah.
but I wasn't working as an RN. They didn't want to pay me as an RN once I passed, so I was still here as a LPN from February working as a LPN
Hmm.
till I left in September. So I didn't start working as a nurse until Harlem. So when I
Wow.
came to the South, I already got my, but it was like when I went to the baby factory in Atlanta, I didn't know how to do vag exams. And I had the
Hmm.
same issue that I was having at my former employer.
Hmm.
Are we
And
being honest here?
yeah, we are being honest.
Okay.
What is the issue?
The issue is white nurses.
Hmm.
The issue is NWB, nursing while black.
Mm.
And that's a title of a, you remember I was writing a book. I still got it.
Yeah.
NWB, I think I'm thinking about turning this EEOC file into an NWB, nursing while black. It's
Yeah.
like if you're too confident, you're cocky. If you advocate, you're being aggressive.
Yeah.
You're being confrontational. We are not allowed to um, voice our concerns. What's the acronym for cuss? CUSS. They tell us.
I can look it up. Let's see.
Yes, please do. They don't want us to do that.
Mm-mm.
They
Yes,
want to be,
yes,
they want us to be
yes,
seen.
yes. It's one of their advocacy tool for nurses.
Uh-huh. They want us to be seen and not heard. If you're not being mistaken for housekeeping, that's what I was being mistaken for at the hospital down in Georgia. And this hospital was the baby factory. They
Mm.
delivered the stars, the celebrities,
Mm.
the football players' wives. But
Mm-hmm.
notice the Black nurses didn't care for those patients. We
Mm,
didn't. And it
mm,
was a fast-paced unit, so you had to know what you were doing. They had a high-risk department, and then they had a high risk antepartum as well. And
okay.
I'm all around everything except for triage.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was a job. That wasn't a travel assignment. And then I went to another Georgia hospital, which was a small unit, and that's when I experienced my first maternal death. And I was just giving the older white nurse a break for 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
that's what happened. Patient had a pulmonary amniotic fluid embolism,
Okay.
October the 4th, 2014.
Wow.
And I was precepting a young Black travel nurse. You know, she never came back.
Wow.
We quoted that young lady for 2.5 hours. And usually you don't code people that long. She was a
Mm,
G3, a G3P2 having her third baby. And when she came in, she had thrombocytopenia, so she couldn't get that epidural. I had just gave her 100 mics of fentanyl in her IV push, put her on her side, fire hydrant, my favorite position, because we didn't
mhm,
have peanut balls back then. At least
mhm,
at that hospital, we didn't. So I'd all out the fire hydrant, 30 minutes to the left, 30 minutes to the right. My patients were ready.
mhm,
So her mom come out the room, hey, she says she can't breathe. I come back in the room and the lady is like this in the fire hydrant. We rushed her to the OR. We got that baby out in 8 minutes. When I
mm.
tell you, Mitz, that lady went into DIC, all the alphabets. She did everything.
Wow.
We have to have ACLS, right, in CPR,
Mhm,
BLS. When the
mhm.
last time you really did chest compressions on a human?
I've never done
Okay,
chest compression.
that was my first time and my last. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. But
So that was an
let's pause.
experience.
Let's pause. So CUS, because we talked about that, and CUS
Yes.
is for nurses. It's your communication acronym when you feel unsafe in your environment or you're concerned. So CUS, CUS, concerned, uncomfortable safety issues. So you're supposed to use this tool to pause with your doctor, your fellow nurses, to be like, hey, right now I'm concerned. I'm feeling uncomfortable because of, and these are the safety concerns, issues that I see. And we're supposed to pause and address those right there in the moment.
Yes, and especially in the OR during a C-section.
Hmm.
But when at any time a nurse is concerned about a safety issue, they're supposed to hold that scalpel up, put it down. Everybody's supposed to stop.
Hmm.
That's just for white nurses.
Okay.
Or I want to be very honest with you, or Black nurses that are very, um, I'm going to say the word docile.
Hmm.
That's very, they feel that they have to dim their light so they don't shine too bright, or they don't want to speak too loud because they don't want to seem aggressive. They don't want to seem um I don't want to say the word assertive because that's a good thing, because we're not seen as assertive in this scan.
Okay.
So that's what was the issue. They didn't want to hear my mouth at all.
Hmm. Hmm. So the Black nursing experience, then you would say, from what you said, you could tell me if I'm wrong, right? What I hear you saying is that the Black nursing experience is one where you can't be your true self. Like, in order to be heard, you have to stifle a true part of you and adapt to the white communication style and how they're expecting you to operate. And when you do operate in your genuine self, who you are, then you're seen as aggressive.
Ghetto,
Mm-hmm.
hostile, confrontation. These are the words that I've heard. Now, when I moved to New York, now I'm from the South,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't say store, we say stow.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, we so I was wondering why I was not getting the charge nurse position. I wanted to be the charge nurse. I could do better than that. Why is it taking so long to get the assignment? But when I tell you, when I was the charge nurse at Harlem, baby, I rocked.
Mm-hmm.
However, But I realized when I went to a doctor's appointment and the guy was like, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from Florida." He was like, "Oh, that you sound ghetto." And it, because I had just finished praying, why am I not getting the charge nurse position? And when he said, I say, "That's it." And he thought he was offending me, but I said, "No, that's what they made it." I sounded to them. I didn't
Yeah,
sound proper.
you didn't sound proper, you didn't sound educated because you didn't
There you
pronounce
go.
words a certain way.
Yeah.
And even in my experience as a labor and delivery nurse too, is I worked on Park Avenue in New York, right? And when they hired me at that hospital, I was one Black person among many white nurses. The ratio on the floor was ridiculous, right? Like I'm looking around, I'm like, there's not that many of us on this unit. And you're right, when those VIP clients come in, these
You
celebrities,
don't get them.
you do not get them. And even getting into labor and delivery is hard. As a Black nurse,
Especially, yes,
I was
yes, it
just,
is lily white, blonde, is blonde hair, blue eyes, and slim, big breasts.
mhm,
And that is definitely the hospital that I just was terminated from.
mhm,
When I started in 2006 there, before this new organization bought them out,
yeah,
it was just white folks. Now, when I was doing my, what is it when you finish your RN degree, you have to go your clinicals. I
clinicals.
did my clinicals there on postpartum.
Mhm,
It was two Black nurses. One is a midwife now, and the other one, she's an assistant manager at Midtown in Atlanta. And when I tell you those Black nurses rocked, they gave me the confidence because we all graduated from the same school, St. Pete
mhm,
College. And Rita is a midwife. And the other girl used to date my cousin, and I just cannot think of her name. But anyway, that's what also gave, like, but then they up and left me.
mm,
And they left, and she's been in Georgia ever since. The one I can't remember, and the other young lady, she was still like PRN. When I seen her a couple years ago, when I came back home in 2019, 2020, before I went to Jamaica, she, I seen her at Publix, and she was like, "Yeah, I still work there sometimes, but I'm a midwife now or finishing." But it was not a lot of Black girls at all,
mhm.
at all.
When you find yourself in situations where you are speaking up and you are advocating, what's the response like from management for you? And like when what things do you see go wrong on the unit when it comes to being a Black nurse that you try to address? And what's management response to that?
Well, my management that I had was the first Black director ever at this hospital. So I was surprised about that.
Mhm,
But um, I can go back to a travel assignment with white management.
mhm,
So when I was working at can we say names of the hospitals?
mm-mm.
Okay, so when I was at QV
Uh-huh.
in California, the doctor was like, "Why the hell," he was the hospitalist, "why the hell I have to call for," she delivers all the babies because I will be catching a lot of babies because the babies will come out. So I had an incident with a Hispanic patient, and
Mhm.
she was a grown woman. It was her first child, but the father of the baby second. But the mother wanted to be like she was a little kid. So she calls me over. Excuse me, can I talk to you about my daughter? And I knew she was trying to reprimand me. So I said, "No, if your daughter have a problem with me, we can say it all in the room." She didn't like that. So that day before, I mean the shift before day shift, because I work night shift, she was being delayed in care. So when you're busy and baby's popping out, you either don't move the pit or you turn the pit off. And that's what happened to her.
Okay.
So her mom was upset why she's not delivered, why is the Pitocin not on? And so I said, "Ma'am, I don't know, but I promise you, I'll get her delivered." And the
Mm,
doctor that she had, I can't think of his name, but he was like, he asked, "Who has my patient?" And I was like, "I do." He was like, "Oh, I know she's going to be delivered about 3 o'clock in the morning." And she was. But long story short, she ended up The baby ended up delivering before the hospitalist came in, and the doctor ended up delivering the placenta. You know, they'll deliver the baby, but they'll leave the placenta in for the OB to do it.
Yeah.
So she was upset because the doctor missed the delivery. And a lot of people don't understand the doctors are not sitting in the hospital all night waiting for a baby to come. They are home in the bed with their wives or
Mm-hmm.
whoever. They're not at the hospital.
Yeah.
So she was upset. She felt that I delayed getting the doctor there. So as I was talking to her before that happened, let me go back to try. I was going up on the pit. I said, "Oh, I'm very aggressive with my pit, girl." After all that happened, there was no bad situation, no bad outcome. You know, she went and told the manager that I said that I was aggressive and my contract was canceled. And I had been there a year and a half.
Because you said you were aggressive with the Pitocin.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I
So
think she
for
was saying I
those,
was aggressive, period.
for those listening, what is it? What is being aggressive with the Pitocin mean?
Aggressive with the Pitocin, if the order is go up go up by 2 every 30 minutes, as long as you're not having tachysystole, that's having more than 5 contractions within a 10-minute window, but you're going to look over a 30-minute tracing. You're going to have a category 1 tracing, so that's no variable D cells or late D cells. Earlys are okay, but you're going to have good moderate variability.
Mm-hmm.
So if the order was to get to 20, that's what, and my patients delivered. So my new word is I'm very assertive with my Pitocin.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I
So
think I had a lot to do with it because I was Black. You know how when I come to work, I have my stuff on, my hair wrapped up. I wear my was I even wearing a beanie back then? But I would be dressing different from all the other Black nurses. Very
okay.
different.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a problem.
So even the way you present yourself,
Yes.
the words that you use are used
Mhm.
against you as
Yeah.
a nurse. So how do you keep being yourself if the environment is so harsh and so against you? How do you still show up as Tamiko?
I
How
have, go ahead, finish.
No, I was gonna say, how do you keep being true to yourself? Like, what are some tips for Black nurses who are struggling with being themselves at work and advocating the way that they're supposed to?
Mitz, remember when I told you I was helping those little kids read
Mm-hmm.
at the school?
Yeah.
Well, one day I read this book because as a child, I had issues with not being myself. My daddy used to tell me, "Why don't you be like your sister? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" Yeah. And so she played basketball. She plays. Now I can play basketball, but I'm not a. That's not because back then the girls they started turning into little boys, and that's not what. Mitz, one day I came across this book,
The
The
mixed.
Mixed Up Chameleon.
Uh-huh.
And this book is so look at the pictures. And I literally just went to Barnes and Nobles last week and bought this book because I am not going to be nobody but Miko. When I
Mm,
decided to be myself, that's when I fell in love with me.
mm.
This book,
Yeah.
reading it to third graders. And I
Yeah.
literally had to excuse myself to go to the bathroom because this hit home. And I was in my early 30s.
Oh.
This little thing wanted to be everybody but himself. And then when he finally became everything, he was like, oh,
Mm.
so that's right on time.
Yeah.
Be you.
See
It
you.
keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you from forgetting who you was the day before. It keeps um, the riffraff down. So I just, I think my career may be screwed here in Florida, at least around here.
Yeah. And let's talk about that for a minute. I know you are emotional.
I got my snot rag.
So, when you say your career might be over in Florida, I want to explore that a little bit and just talk about like how that started. Like, what were you fighting for? What were you bringing to the awareness of management or leadership at that hospital that kind of got you into this position where you feel, or not feel, where you are being pushed out of the hospital system? You can't find a job in your area because you used your voice and you stay
Yes.
true to yourself and you fight for people who look like you and
Keep
ensure
talking.
that they are safe at work. So let's just talk about that a little bit, that experience.
Okay. So working at L&D as a Black nurse, and you know, Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die of um,
Maternal.
preeclampsia, postpartum hemorrhage, um, heart issues. So knowing that, and this hospital is in a Black neighborhood.
Hmm.
So I've seen patients with severe preeclampsia. If a patient has preeclampsia, why you don't have any orders? Tylenol for headache, just basic order. Fentanyl or whatever you're going to use for pain, 50 mics or 100 mics. If the pain scale this, if the pain scale that, if she have a fever, give her this. Just like a basic, which I was used to at Harlem, a basic,
Protocol.
yes,
Hmm.
instead of every time you need an order, you call in the doctors. These nurses were practicing medicine without a license because they didn't want to wake the doctor up at night. Because this one particular doctor, this female, she always wanted to get sleep.
Mm.
So we had a Black young lady. I end up starting her mag. And you know, sometimes mag makes the mom feel hot, flush. But this when the patient got up, she started, and I'm thinking, now me going through what I'm going through at this hospital, that scared me. So I
Hmm.
checked her DTRs. Everything was fine. Her respiration was good. So I know it wasn't magnesium toxicity. So I'm not going to turn off the mag. If she's having a seizure, if she's going to have a seizure, you're going to go up on the mag. But what I did do as a prudent nurse, I did a stat mag level because that's within my scope. Well, so as I drew the mag, sent the mag, put the order in, sent the mag, I called the doctor, said, hey, Dr. So and so, this is what's going on. So she was like, okay, well, start her on magnesium. She gave me, and so I read back, you know, what she said. But she said, I don't want to start pushing antihypertensive meds because if I do that, I will have to come in and I want to try to get some sleep.
Wow.
Meds. This is the 91-page document that I rebutted
Hmm.
the attorney's position statement for my
Yeah.
complaint, my file to EEOC.
So we had a woman, Black woman, come in, preeclamptic
Mhm.
symptoms, and there was no standing orders, no standing
Nope,
protocol in place.
nope,
No.
nope.
Wow. And this
And then
doctor didn't want to intervene and push medication because she wanted
he
to.
wanted to go home and stay home and sleep. Yeah,
Okay. So what was your advocacy step with like management and getting this issue solved? And what was their response?
I went straight to the charge nurse. She
Hmm.
was actually sitting in the nurse's station when I was on the phone with the doctor.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, shoot. The Tylenol order, because the patient called out and I said she had a headache. So when I'm looking in the orders, there's no Tylenol orders.
Mm.
So I tell the charge nurse I'm gonna call the doctor back. Oh no, 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 don't call her because she's gonna have a I'll just put the orders in. I literally put that in my report.
Mm.
I mean verbatim, what time, everything. And the
Hmm.
doctor told me, "Well, why would you call me if you didn't have the mag level?" I said I wanted to let you know what was going on now. In
Mhm.
an event something was happening, I want because I don't want you to say I didn't call you in time because the doctor love to say that. Well, she never called me.
Mhm.
This young lady wrote that the rest of the night I never called her. Yeah, I didn't call you because you told me if the mag level was within normal range, do not call me. If it's abnormal, call me.
Mhm.
So the nurse, charge nurse, put the orders in,
Yeah.
Tylenol, fentanyl, and just the regular stuff
Mhm.
with no doctor's order. So I said in my complaint, so nurses are putting in medicine, practicing medicine without a license. We're not allowed to do that. What they tell us in nursing school.
You gotta get your order straight
Verbal
from the
order,
doctor. You gotta.
telephone order, written order. You just can't do that. And that's what they were doing. What if the lady had a severe allergy that the pharmacy missed to Tylenol and you done gave this order? What that doctor gonna say? I didn't. She didn't call me. And there go your license. So that was a big to do.
Okay.
And
And
the
so,
baby was born,
uh
had to be put on was born. And I told her that was that Friday night. I told the patient, I'm back tomorrow. No, that was Thursday. I'm back tomorrow. If you need me, if you want me to be your nurse, let them know. She never did. She got passed all around because the unit got busy. Tracing flat. They too scared to call because this doctor was on call for the weekend, 24-hour call. Tracing was so ugly. She came in, did a delivery. The nurse was trying to tell her about the tracing. She still left. Oh, just change her position. The tracing was flat.
mm,
The baby was born at 9 o'clock. I don't know if it was 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. because everybody are afraid of me because I'm going to write you up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put complain. Baby had to go get put on brain cooling.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And like this is from what I've experienced as a Black nurse, it's almost like I'm put in when I'm advocating for interventions for my patients. It's
Hmm.
almost like they make me feel stupid for asking for the things. Not like they make me feel stupid for asking for the things for my patient. And this is why I don't do nursing anymore. And I'm strongly like, this is my first year where I could work as a doula full time and not go to the bedside. Because my experience was I had a patient, the patient was having lates all day on the day shift. I came in, did the interventions, flip, turn, tracing went back to being beautiful, right?
Hmm.
Before that, I asked the patient, hey, did anybody turn you today, move you? No, I've just been sitting like this with the epidural all day. I'm like, okay. So the doctor came in, checked her. She's been 8 centimeters for hours now. Still 8 centimeters. The tracing was looking,
Wow.
and he was like, are you okay waiting another hour to see if she dilates so that we don't have to do a C-section because the tracing looks better?
Okay.
Like, okay, fair enough, right? Went back to the nursing station to write my notes, right? She was on her side, no. And when I looked at the monitor, the heart rate was in 150s, then it went down to 130s, right? Then
Uh-huh.
125s, but it was at 125 for like 8 minutes,
So
right?
that's a baseline change. That's a
All right, I'm
yeah.
happy that I said that because that's what I thought too. And then all of a sudden, there's no baby on the monitor. So I went to the room. You wait like your 30-second, a minute to see
Uh-huh. Yeah.
if the baby's gonna come back on. Went to the room. I can't find the heart tones. So I call the pull the emergency plug, call the residents in. They can't find the heart tones. The doctor was just chilling in the lounge. He came in and instead of listening to me, hey, let's move to the OR because we can't find this. It's been a while. I'm unplugging all the things. He's like, what are you doing? Don't tell me what to do. This is not time to argue with me, Mitzi. I'm like, I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to tell you that we need to move to the OR. Like, what is the plan? Because we've been trying to find this heart tone in this room and we can't. So, what's the next plan? What's the next step? I'm not arguing with you. So I was made to feel like I was being aggressive towards the doctor, arguing with this doctor. And then I was told, you are a travel nurse, you're an agency nurse, you don't know what you're doing. Call the staff nurses in. And this was a predominantly white unit, right?
Yep.
I'll say we're in Staten Island, right? And um all the nurses were literally sitting down eating dinner. Call them. I had to leave the room to go call nurses to come in to help when we could have just moved this lady to the OR. The
Wow.
OR is right across the hall, not even 10 seconds to get to the OR. Nurses come in, he wants an ultrasound, all the things. I'm like, can we move to the OR? Can we do this in the OR? We need to get her to the OR. Shut down. We get to the OR, that baby died. By the time they decided to move to the C-section, decided to get the baby out, baby came out floppy, right? And that's when I knew that I can't fight for patients this way. Like when that baby died, nobody from management got my side of the story, and I'm the
Nope.
primary nurse.
Nope. And you a traveler nurse, travel nurse.
Yes. No, I never, nobody asked me like for counseling, talk about it. What is your side? It's a hush hush. It was all covered up, whatever they did. And I couldn't work at that place anymore. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get up out of here. And when I spoke to management about like, hey, I haven't heard from what do you call these committee? I don't know, quality.
Quality reassurance or quality, what those
Them.
people,
I'm
risk
like, I haven't heard
management.
from them. Yes. Is somebody gonna reach out to me? Oh, we'll see. Just very, I mean, it's not even the color of the patient at this point. It was just because she was white. It was just like management took no steps to ensure that I was okay as a nurse. My part of the story was told. The doctor after came to me and said, hey, we need to get on the same page for what we're documenting. I said,
Yep.
no, I'm going to document what happened, right?
Yep.
And I don't
And
even know if they reviewed my part of the chart. No adjustment, no change in policy. And then a couple weeks after that, same provider, baby placed on brain cooling because of mismanagement of the patient. Once again, they didn't want to call the doctor to wake the doctor up. This is also a doctor who likes to sleep, right? Busy in clinic, wants to sleep. Do not
yeah,
disturb me. But when we speak up as Black nurses, we are labeled as aggressive. We are not
no,
educated.
we are executed. I was working at a predominantly hospital. We worked at a hospital, same name, but different hospitals in
Hmm.
California.
Hmm.
I had, and I was around the corner from where I stayed at.
Hmm.
So at that hospital, and it was Black staff management. And I would that night I end up working in postpartum. And at the end of the shift, about 10 minutes, the doctor was like, I need Billy Light, that. I'm a labor and delivery nurse. I don't know about no dang on Billy Light. I can work postpartum, but the nitty and gritty for that's a postpartum nurse. Just like they can't come over labor and delivery and work and rock like we rock. I can do, but it's when come out of that baby.
Hmm.
The lady tells me, the white lady tells me, you received that order on your shift. And I said, but it's a 24-hour unit. I'm looking for, as you're a tribe, when you're a tribe, you don't know where everything is. So I'm looking for the Billy blanket or whatever it was. And she walks me to the place where it was. She said, because if you don't have if you don't initiate it, start it, they will hang you out to dry.
Mm.
So I said, so what, they gonna lynch me? And honey, she went to that computer,
And wrote,
sent the
wrote you,
email, and I went to the office. Them Black women told me we have no place for the angry Black woman here.
wow.
Oh, yes.
So this is what Black leaders, Black management is telling you that there's no place for the angry Black.
One of the manager of the unit that night, she was Black and Asian,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one was a Black woman, no
Mm.
mix. So yeah, uh-huh. Two
Wow.
Black women telling another Black woman, we don't have no place for the angry Black woman here. I said, but she said that they was gonna hang me out to dry. I said, according
Mm.
to my Black history, that's what they did to my ancestors. They
Mm.
hung them out to dry. They lynched them and they left them there. So
Mm-hmm.
that was too much.
Wow.
You go there with
And
me, I'm going there. I know it's probably not right, but hey, I got
and
written.
that just shows us too, like the unity among Black nurses. What do you feel? How do you feel about that? Like, do you find like there's unity amongst us as Black nurses in the hospital? Do you feel like we support each other and
No,
like,
no, no, no. Nope. It just depends on when you say black, because we know we have this saying, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I've always said this, and I'm gonna say it again on this interview. And it's a beautiful interview. You asking awesome questions. Um, when my mother and her husband conceived me,
mm-hmm,
and when she got that positive pregnancy test, she had no idea if I was gonna be a boy or a girl, but she knew I was gonna be black first. I'm black first before anything. And
mm-hmm,
when people say I don't see color, you're lying.
mm-hmm,
Because if I come and hit you upside your head and you describe me to the police, you're going to say a black female.
mm-hmm,
So I'm black first.
mm-hmm,
But other nurses who are black on the outside, but white here,
mm-hmm,
those are just as dangerous as the whole white woman labor nurse. And I'm from the South. I'm from a state that was is a Republican state. I'm
mm-hmm,
from where they love them some president. So this is what I have to go through as a black nurse. Where woke goes to get put to death, or what do you say? Woke goes to sleep. So these are conversations that we need to have. Now,
yeah,
if you have other black nurses with the same black first ideology or consciousness, we move different from eh, like
mm-hmm,
like I don't go to work talking like that because when I see you on the street, you don't talk like that.
mm,
I don't when I get home, I don't take off. It's a picture going around with a little thing. You see the black lady stepping out the white suit and she's black on the inside of, and when she zips it back up. I don't do that. And it's not fair that as black nurses, we're not allowed to be ourselves in their spaces.
mm. So how, okay, what would it look like or feel like when like what change is it that you need to see to feel welcome into these units that are predominantly white?
We are all nurses,
Mm-hmm.
right? We all took the same NCLEX, probably different questions. We went to different schools, but it's pretty much the same program.
Mm-hmm.
Right is right, wrong is wrong, no matter who is bringing it to your awareness.
Mm,
Respect them. Respect that they're trying to save a mom and a baby. Respect and understand that they're trying to CYA and CYH cover the hospital, protect the hospital. Because if you step out of what I learned at the hospital in Georgia in orientation, our lady told us, as long as you stay within the policies and procedures, we will
mm-hmm,
protect you. You will be in the in-house, but if you step outside those parts, you're gonna be on the outhouse.
mm,
I said the outhouse, yeah, you're gonna be in the house. So
mm,
we just have to respect each other's background. We have to respect each other's ability to care and nurse for these with these patients. Not because, oh, she black and she ghetto, or she too black. Oh, you too. I was told I was too woke
wow.
at this hospital.
Mm.
Now let me calm down because I, and
No.
that was another thing. I get excited and they take that as being aggressive, this and that. So hey, I'm gonna
Mm.
have to
Yeah.
be
Look,
something I'm not.
even when it comes to being like we all talk about being, what do you call it, culturally aware and competent nurses, right? I don't think like as coworkers we have even training on how to. I've never had training on how to interact with nurses of different races and how do you unify the unit, right? And even in terms of the activities on the unit, it's not culturally diverse. So I feel like management can do a whole lot more in terms of unifying the workers.
So on the unit,
Hmm.
like the two major holidays that celebrates Black people, February, right? Black History Month.
Hmm.
What is it overshadowed by? Valentine's Day.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then in June, Juneteenth. What is
Mm-hmm.
that overshadowed by? Pride.
Mm,
Well, they're not culturally sensitive to the Black nurses. And here's the thing, the Black staff don't even care.
because we're
Now,
because why?
see, I cared
Mm-hmm.
because I'm Black first.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to put all this stuff up, but what about Black history? It's more than Martin Luther King. Let's celebrate the Black nurse, Eliza Mahoney. All of these fabulous Black people. What I got at that place, I get on the, this white nurse made a heart
Mm-hmm.
that was, and she made it with her hands. She made a Black heart, and baby, that bad baby looked like a minstrel. When I tell you, it looked just like a minstrel. And she sat it on the door of the med room, which is locked, where everybody go in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Juneteenth, I said, well, let's celebrate Juneteenth. So the Haitian nurse brought the decorations.
Mm-hmm.
It free-ish, black fist, the Haitian flag. We all brought food. I pretty much made 90% of the food.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, if you don't know how to cook, do not be experimenting. Get one, because a lot of the young ladies, Hispanic girls, were dating or had babies by black men.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, get your mama-in-law to cook. Don't be experienced. And I said, it's two things we're not going to bring: watermelon and fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I felt I brought unity. This is the celebration.
Let's see.
That's us that night.
Uh-huh.
That's me that night. The decorations. Now I had to put this in my complaint because they said that I wasn't a team player.
Oh wow.
This is the decorations Marie brought, the Haitian nurse. And the unit was so beautiful. Child, that black nurse took it down within 2 days. We celebrate the 21st. By the 22nd, all them and she threw our decorations in the garbage can. The
Mm.
black, I say, but
But is it that Black nurses are tired? We fight,
yeah,
we fight on the streets when we're operating outside of our job. It's hard to even, I remember I did my clinicals in Indiana. Like there were some clinical rotations I didn't get to do because the white patients didn't want the Black students
but yep,
here.
I've had that too.
Right. Like we have been fighting for a long time. And so I feel like a lot of us has gotten into the routine of just going to work, doing my job, stay in my corner, yes, keep my head down, in and out. What do you say to that nurse who's just tired of the fight?
We still have bills to pay and family to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
And either you do like you did, find your passion,
Mm-hmm.
because black moms and babies are getting injured.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fair for us to go to work and keep our head down and not protect our sister.
Mm-hmm.
And white moms dying too. But trust and believe, if they were dying at the rate that black women are being killed, and
Yeah,
I said
it would
it
have
would
been
be
fixed.
laws, everything would have changed.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't. Black women are dying because we are silent,
Yeah.
and it's not fair. This is what she put up for Valentine's Day. This is what I was facing at the job.
Oh, wow. Mm.
So,
Mm.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah. And that was the only one on the unit. I walked all the way around our unit. That was the only one. Made by a white girl. The same girl that cussed me out in the nurse's station.
Wow.
Literally.
And what was management's response to that picture that you just showed?
Nothing.
Wow.
I'm just always overreacting as usual. Yeah.
So what keeps the fight in you? Like,
I have a daughter that
mm-hmm,
one day will have children and will have children. I have family members. We have a lot of girls in our family that
mm-hmm,
one day will be in one of these hospitals and I'd be if something happened to them. I'm not certified as a legal nurse consultant anymore, but I won my first case. I will rip you to shreds. And that's why they didn't like me because when I tell you if something happened at 2:59, that's where I charted.
mm-hmm.
Who said what? Quote. Hmm. Me and
Yeah.
Grammarly had a thing. So yeah, this is a beautiful interview. I love it.
I'm happy to do this because like we need to speak up. I have a problem with speaking up. I'm not as bold and brave as you. Um, and I will admit that like I am the nurse, like I go in and I get my assignment, I do my job, and I don't talk to anybody. If I'm on a nursing assignment, they don't even know me until maybe the last week. I'll start talking to people because I just want to be in, out, get my money and be done. But we
And
cannot.
you know what? Because soon as you start sniggling and giggling, there go your contract. Been there, done that one. And even at this place, when I came back and I saw the nurse that made that heart,
Hmm.
when I saw her, she's still here. Now, mind you, it's been since 2006. It's
Hmm.
2022 now. I got hired September 2022. I started working September the 13th.
Hmm.
And she was there. When the manager walked me around the unit, you think they said, "Oh, hi, welcome." All they saw was two black N words. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Because one of the white scrub techs, and I wrote that in my complaint, so and so is hiring too many African Americans. Honey, we had that thing black up in there. And it was some
Wow.
beautiful black sisters, but they just ain't say nothing.
Mm.
Now I coming up with I came interview nice, but honey, I came up there with my Rasta beanie on, my head wrapped, my hoop earrings. Then I had my braces on, and then I had got a septum ring, had my
Hmm.
crystals. They literally wrote in a complaint that they feared that I was going to do something spiritual to them. They attacked my allegedly religion.
Hmm.
It was terrible. It was terrible. And these were black nurses too.
Mm.
They will help the white nurse tear you down. They
Mm.
wouldn't document and you'll get report. And they wasn't documented. They were mad because I was taking my name. You know, when you in Epic, you could put your name up and it'll show where the doctor can say, "Oh, Miko has room 6 and 7."
Yeah.
So when I give up room 6, I take my name completely out the chart after I put handoff to Mitts.
Yeah. But you need to do that so they know who's taking care of who.
No, they was telling me I that I was being um confrontational. My boss told me I was being complicit. Well, who didn't do this? And you're not saying any names, girl. And then I started singing like a canary.
Mm.
Now, mind you, when I got interviewed, I was interviewing for the assistant nurse position for her, the director. And why
Mm.
I changed my mind in my interview, she's telling me that how the same thing she was writing me up for, refusing assignments, um, unit quarrels and stuff like that. But nobody got written up because they were all white or non-black.
Wow.
And
Mm.
they didn't have management, other managers to help, with these write-ups and stuff. So I was going to be the one. And then when I got back to the office, I was like, I don't think I want to be manager. I never told her why. It's because I know these white folks ain't going to listen to two N words. They're not going to do it. Can you
Mm.
imagine two black women telling a white woman and a Hispanic woman and an Asian woman what to do? They already didn't even like her. She's telling me this in my interview. Child, they don't like me here. And then she was talking about the Haitian lady. She's supposed to be out on FLMA. Now I'm in the interview,
Wow.
FLMA, and I think she's on a travel assignment. This is messy.
Messy. Messy. Yeah. So. We're gonna wrap it up, but I want to know what is the change that you want to make in the nursing industry? What are you working on amplifying?
I'm working on my voice. I'm working on making it normal for us to cuss
Mm-hmm.
without being retaliated against. I know we've been trying to push for an anti-black crime bill. I just thought about we need to do that for black women and children.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a make it a law that if you do this, this is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not only report your nurse and your doctor to the hospital, you get you a pen and paper or you get on a computer Word document and you send that bad baby to the Florida board or whatever board of nursing. You
Mm-hmm.
report them to the med board. You start reporting these people. Stop letting them kill us and get away with it. Let's start holding them accountable. Let's also, as patients, hold ourselves accountable because we got to take some responsibility in this as well. And what I did get, especially when I was at Harlem Hospital, when a black nurse came in, the black patient felt like the white man ice was colder.
Mm.
Some felt that they wasn't getting good care when we were taking care of them. This was, but we did our thing at Harlem.
Yeah.
But we definitely need a bill to protect Black mothers and children because you know what? These people are profiting off of our injuries because they get a lot of grant money. We had a clinic here just got $2 million for a pre-eclamptic program that the lady from Ukraine getting in the dental program, the old white man. Everybody gets money off of us. Did you hear? You remember you heard it that I
Mm-hmm.
sent you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And my
Yeah.
reply was epic. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Mitz, you made me feel so much better. You really did.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing your story. And I hope that this will help other nurses to share their story about what it's like being a Black nurse in America, what it is like to speak up, and advocate for your patients and not being seen or heard. And hopefully, the more that we talk, the more that we make our voices heard, um,
Hmm. The
change
more
will
they will
happen.
listen. Yeah. So I'm gonna add this and we can go.
Mhm.
When nurses start speaking up and you notice that you're starting to get retaliated against, always send an email to HR. But once you start hitting that HR, start getting your resume ready.
Mm,
Always think about EEOC. Even though with EEOC, you can still get you a good employment lawyer. Just get, seek legal advice of what you should do. I'm talking what I've been through.
yeah.
Always, 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 if you're going to send something in the mail, always send it certified with returns receipt.
Mm,
Always have a paper trail. If you talk to your manager, Miss Susie, and at 6:45, y'all had this conversation on the phone that wasn't recorded. You take that conversation, you go to your computer, and you say, per the conversation we had on August the 2nd at 6:45, this is just an overcap, and send that email.
mm,
CYL, cover your license because it's hard for us to get, but for Black women, we'll lose them quick. So
mm.
that's just my story, and I'm sticking with it. I've been a
Yes.
nurse 18 years, but I
Yes.
think it's time for me to come out the hospital and do something else. But
And
I'm a labor nurse.
what does that something else look like?
I'm looking at either definitely getting back into legal nurse consulting. I start my OB nurse consulting back up, functioning as a higher RN, not a
Hmm.
doula, but I function as a doula, but I'm just a nurse.
Hmm.
And I come to your delivery. I don't even have to wear scrubs. It's just like you hiring an attorney. When you go to court, you got your attorney represent. When you go to uh, labor, you don't have a doula, you can call me. So I was
Hmm.
thinking about that, but I still got bills to pay. I
Yes.
started a GoFundMe to help with legal fees. Hopefully they'll open this case back up and
Hmm.
I'm able to get some legal representation, but I still got to work. If not, I'm going back to Cali, although I don't want to because I want to be home.
Right. Yeah. I know
But
you want
at
to
least I
make
have the
I know
option.
you want to make impact and change at home. And I really do hope that things come together. But what's your GoFundMe in case there's anybody? Do you know what it is off your head? Or you-
I know, I think I seen you, Tamiko Dash Keaton. It's easy.
Okay. All right. Just in
Yeah,
case people want to contribute
yeah,
and help you out. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I
Well,
don't
thank
want to have to go back to my old ways.
no.
I'm too scared. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you for sharing your story and just being vulnerable and open and giving young nurses, old nurses, Black nurses tips on like how to navigate, how to move through and use your voice because your
Yeah,
voice is important and it will
that's
save a
right.
life.
What was it was I don't know if it was Zornina Hurston. She had a quote, if you're silent about your pain, they'll swear you like it.
Mm,
I don't know if it was her, but it's a quote from a black author.
I
But
will. Yeah.